Hey everybody, Brad here again from Project Felix. This is going to be take 3 for this video. Angles weren't working out, batteries dying, all kinds of stuff, but that's okay. I could always use another excuse to go for a motorcycle ride. So this video topic for today is going to be survivor's guilt. I'm going to talk about 2 primary sources for me for survivor's guilt. Compare and contrast the reactions. Talk about where I'm at today. First of all, start off with what do I define it as, and of course feel free to agree, disagree, or further expand in the comments. To me, survivor's guilt, in simple terms, is having some kind of traumatic event happen where you lose somebody close to you, or you see something pretty violent or traumatic happen right in front of you, and you continue to wonder after that why it wasn't you, or if you could have done something differently to prevent what happened. So my 2 primary sources are going to be when I was in Baghdad in 2007. We lost Team Lima, Tim Weiner, Dan Miller, Liz Lonke. We remember. And that was definitely a really tough one. I did a lot of what ifs. What if I was their team leader? What if my team had been on the call? What if I could have warned them about what had happened? You know, all these what ifs. And in the end, my reaction to it lasted quite a while. So it was a pretty traumatic event for me in my life, probably one of the worst. Mostly emotionally, it was lots and lots of anger, a little bit of avoidance, trying to cover it up with way too much alcohol, or doing dumb stuff like riding a motorcycle way too fast on public streets, and other dumb things without safety in mind, because I just didn't care. And then, of course, the usual irritability, sleep problems, all those things. And, I think it took me quite a while to, I wouldn't say get over it, but learn how to live with that experience and those emotions and thoughts. And then in more recent times, this year, a couple days before my birthday, lost my dad to throat cancer, which he had been fighting for about 4 years. So with that, it was a lot of, what could I have done differently? Could I have been around more? Could I have come back home more often? And those sorts of things. What would that have changed? Well, I guess made more memories, but I was lucky enough to be stationed close enough to home that I was going home almost every other weekend and doing just that while he was still in good health. So that kind of helped me learn how to live with that, because in the end, it was much easier to tell myself that I did things right in the long run beforehand. Jeez. Don't like staying in your lane, huh? Anyway. Yeah, so with that one was a little bit easier to learn how to live with. I mean, if I would have gone home over that Christmas break. A quick little backstory. I was supposed to, for an unfortunate reason, I was supposed to go be a witness in a court-martial. So I never bought plane tickets because I had assumed that they were calling me back, because for the longest time they told me they were. And then when the time came, they told me that I was no longer requested to come back as a witness. So by that time, plane tickets home from Europe would have been several $1,000s, so I figured I'd just come home on my birthday or maybe in the spring to go fishing. And then unfortunately, as I stated before, it was eventually too much for my dad. So two very different circumstances, two very different reactions, some similarities, the what ifs. The last thing to kind of bring up is, where am I today? What am I thinking about today? And why is this a question today? Oh man. Well, looks like I took a wrong turn somewhere. While I get spun around. So where am I today? Today, I feel like I'm on the positive swing of all of this. But at the same time, sometimes I wonder if it's too far of a pendulum swing. What I mean by that is sometimes where I find myself now, they say part of post-traumatic growth is the renewed appreciation for life and that kind of stuff. And definitely experienced that. And I feel like every day I'm trying to squeeze every little last bit of life out of every day that I can. And at the same time, maybe I take that too far sometimes. And I don't allow myself time to unwind and just sit there without a million things going through my mind, or trying to be productive, or trying to create something, or teach somebody, or learn something, or any of those things. And that's kind of what I'm struggling with these days. If I don't get out on a day like today on my motorcycle, go for a little ride, or go do some photos, fly the drone, what have you, I feel really terrible about it, and it puts me in a bad mood, negative headspace, and I feel like I'm wasting life. It's like I gotta get every single ounce out of every day possible. And talking to a wise friend of mine about that, and he brought up something that I didn't really think about, which was so crazy because it's so obvious. Like, that's how you burn yourself out. It's one of the ways, at least. So now I'm at the conundrum of, what do I do? It's kind of the positive way to react to these things, but at the same time, is it too much? I guess I'm the only one that has the answer to that for me, but I really wanted to record this conversation to see if anybody else out there has experienced the same or similar things, and what you got to say about it. So if you have, please feel free to get a conversation going in the comments. Let's see where it goes. Until next time.